Glasses, that's why.
There we go. We are live, gents. We are live. Well, we've got a bit of a mix-up here. I mean, I was expecting to see Ellen, and we've got Sanjay. So, Sanjay,
I mean,
surprise.
I think I'm prettier than Ellen, so I'll take it. Jokes, only joking. No, she's stuck in traffic after her last appointment, so yeah, she's not available tonight.
No worries. We've got Mr. Mead. He's already on, giving us a wave.
Mr. Mead.
Hello, Andy, waving back. Neil's busy bee. He's going to be joining us shortly. He was obviously running late for appointments. We said, do not speed, Neil. That is against the law. Get here in your own leisurely time and you can join in the conversation then. Lot to go through. Excited about this group because we're kind of that A329M mob, if you like, of partners. But what I wanted to cover today, or just give people quickly now, is the agenda, because you guys have come up with some great questions, some great things that we can talk about. So we're going to talk about whether buying and selling is actually seasonal. So with Christmas around the corner, half term next week, but is it seasonal or is it going to be different this year? So that's something we're going to talk about. Getting your home ready in winter. There's been a few great avocado partner tips that have gone out around. Now the seasons have changed. I mean, it was cold this morning. Was anyone out this morning?
Yeah, yes. It's freezing. Yeah.
Really cold. Pushing the pram, I got very cold fingers. I need to get my mittens out. Buy-to-lets. Everyone's got mittens, no?
Not quite like what you have.
I've got avocado mittens. Come on. So, yeah, we're going to also talk about buy-to-lets. You can get an interest rate on a buy-to-let under 1%.
That's crazy.
It's free money. It's free money.
Free money.
If you're watching, you can hear us. I always like to ask this because we're across so many different platforms. If you're watching, you can hear us. Give us a thumbs up, or just in the comments, just say, yep, loud and clear. Something along those lines would be fantastic. Thank you. A little bit of a brief on the October market update, which I'm going to put the link in the chat for everyone, just in case anyone hasn't seen it yet. There's a link to the website with the market update blog talking about rates. Are they going up? They're going down. Move now. Move 2022. I know, Matt, that's recently something you wrote a blog on, whether to move now or move next year. Economy, a little bit of a rundown on that. Nothing too boring, just get an idea. Social media teasers. For people that are watching now that are thinking, I want to move, I can't find anything, I'm not sure what my house is worth because the housing market's gone bananas. We've got a few little tricks that we can help you with on that. So we'll talk about that a little bit later on. Tips for setting up an offer. I know one of you wanted to talk about that as well, how actually to put an offer forward, the detail you need. Halloween pumpkin competition, should that be a thing? Do we need to have an internal pumpkin competition? Matt, what are your shaving skills like in the pumpkin area?
I'm all right. I can shave a pumpkin. Yeah, I can do that, but I'm not the most creative, which is the obvious part. But I'll tell you what, if anyone can try and draw an avocado in a pumpkin, I'd be well impressed if I saw that. I'd be very impressed. But I'll give it a go.
Could anyone carve an avocado? Throwing it out there. We've obviously got Allen's to give away on that basis. I've got a little bit of spiced rum that might get thrown in the equation. We've always got things like that. The magical hoodie. That could be thrown away, and many other things. If you're watching, you want us to run a pumpkin carving competition on social media, we will all have a go. You have a go, post your photos, and the best pumpkin wins something to be confirmed of a significant emotional and financial value. Let us know in the comments. We want to know what you want.
We should do a live one of those. Do it live with all the partners.
Carving live. Wow.
Well, actually, no, maybe not. I think that'd be very boring for the audience, wouldn't it?
I don't know about that.
that could be a little bit dangerous. But I'm happy to do it with you on a private live, Matt, if you want to. Properties and what properties is coming available. What have we got in? Oh, I've got to put that on there.
Yeah, we always have Andy, but thanks. Yeah.
No one likes a bully.
Always one.
And properties, you're obviously, I know, Matt, you've listed some properties recently that have just chopped out, sold quickly,
Yeah.
and you've got another few bubbling in Wokingham. Sanjay, rocking and rolling, got some exciting ones coming available. I think you might even have a property that you're both working on collectively as well in JP, I hear. So yeah, some exciting stuff that we're going to cover. Neil's going to join us when he's here. But yeah, overall, how are we, Sanjay? Doing well? You're not Ellen, you're Sanjay, but how are you?
No, I'm not Ellen. No. Yeah, all good. Very busy. Like it's just gone. I said in my market update earlier this month, I was like, October was bonkers, and I was only a week in October, and now we're like 3 weeks in, and it's just still it's gone absolutely mad. Like so many things are happening this month, more so than I feel the last 2 months prior to this, which is exciting, and obviously it's an indication of what the market's like, really. And I know Matt's in this sort of similar position.
Yeah, totally in the same position. I mean, literally stuff that's coming onto the market at the moment. Properties. I'm blessed with being given instructions on really nice properties as well, which has been. I mean, it helps when you got a seller that really looks after their home. They looked after it. They've done their best. When you market something like that, it's always going to generate traction. You're always going to generate interest. And a property that I sold and agreed an offer on this morning for the full asking price. We've done a bit of Facebook, we've done a bit of content on the green wall earlier on, Ian and I, to try and get that out. So you'll see that in the next 48 hours. Yeah, that one. That came on the market Tuesday evening. 5 viewings last night, 5 or 6 viewings last night, agreed this morning. So, and the buyer actually came via my Facebook page rather than through Rightmove or Zoopla. So I've now got people following me off the back of that because they know it goes live on there before it goes available. So it's crazy. Like Sanjay says, there's so much going on.
Should we touch on that? I know we talk about it a lot. I know a lot of people know about the social media, but should we talk about the teaser ability and also that powerful impact that social media is having? I ran the statistics in September, and just over 60% of our properties that came to the market, or that sold, I should say, that had obviously come on the market with us, were sold or a buyer was introduced via a social media platform. Now, when we launched, I never thought in a million years that our social media presence would trump Rightmove, but I thought we would significantly up the ability to get more inquiries. But to actually see now Facebook, Instagram is bringing in more buyers than Rightmove is, that gives us quite a powerful statement to put out there to say, look, this is the way to market your home. Don't miss out on the majority of the traffic, because people want to view things on their phone, on Facebook. They want to see our videos and they want to see Beat the Portals. I think Neil's joining us now, actually. So it's powerful. Sanjay, we did a little teaser as well, didn't we? Which brought out a couple of viewings on a property that hadn't even been valued at that point, but just wanted to ask the question.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, I'd give you an example. Did a Beat the Portals. I know. Did a Beat the Portals earlier. I've got two inquiries straight away within 10 minutes. 10 minutes of doing one live video, and then what you put out last week, just that one post, and all of a sudden you just generate traction. But I think now like we're over 18 months in, people are starting to understand, and the community that we're building within social media, it's honestly just trumping, and you're getting good quality buyers. That's the main thing, right?
Yeah.
It's great.
Quality buyers, and they're local people, so they understand the local market, and because they're local, there's so much power in introducing that person that already knows the surroundings. They know the road. Kids go to school around the corner, and it's just a real powerful way of bringing a quality buyer. And like Matt said, to put something live on Tuesday, to find the best, most proactive buyers instantly, and to get it sold the next day is really good. I mean, Neil, you've been singing and dancing about Beat the Portals for many, many months.
Love it.
But your community of social media followers is so active at the moment. It's great. From your point of view, do you think that maybe that's the trump for the portals down the line? A couple of months, maybe a couple of years down the line?
I reckon so. I've had 3 or 4 viewings arranged on a £1.15 million house just from Facebook and Instagram. It's crazy, absolutely crazy. And it's because when we first set out and we were doing the Beat the Portals, and obviously we were giving it our all with it, a lot of people thought, well, it's just going to be your 25 to your 35-year-olds that are going to be keeping an eye on that and actually entertaining what we're doing, but it's not. It's slowly but surely taking over. If I'm honest, I'm going to get it tattooed on me. I'm that proud of it.
Hashtag BTP.
Hashtag BTP, yeah.
It's funny you mentioned about the age bracket, because obviously Matt being in Wokingham, I ran the data the other day in Wokingham.
You're going to say something different then.
Yeah, I thought he was going to say something.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's old.
Keep it clean. Watershed. Yeah, I ran the data in Wokingham. There's 56,000 people in the area that I set around Wokingham that are reachable on social media, which obviously is a significant amount. I took out 21 and under. I took out 21 and under year olds, and it still came to 42,000. So what that means in Wokingham, the people that we can talk to on Facebook, 56,000 down to 42,000. Everyone from 42,000 is older than 21. And when I actually looked at it from 35 upwards, it was like 37,000. So the myth that social media is for young people only is not actually entirely true. TikTok potentially, but when it comes to kind of,
we've figured out what sort of age brackets, because I would say that, dare I say it, the older generation will quite comfortably use Facebook. The newer generation, younger generation will quite comfortably use Instagram. But then you've got the TikTokers coming in. Is that what they're called? Are they called TikTokers? Even I'm not down with the call. TikTokers. But you do see the trend.
I'm a proud TikToker now. I've been trying it for the last 3 weeks. If anyone's watching and they're on TikTok, little self plug at Avocado Property, Avocado Ian. Follow me. My second to last video got 8,000 views and I've had 113 likes. So basically, I've completed TikTok in the last week.
There you go.
I'm pretty happy with that. Matt, obviously, background in investing, a background in landlords, property selling. To see a buy-to-let deal under 1% interest rate is the future of. We always talk about what market are we entering? What market is this market making? We spoke, me, Sanjay, Neil, yourself, about the fact we were entering a first-time buyer market this time last year. As soon as we saw the 10% deposits back, is the next market a buy-to-let market?
It could well be. I think your existing investors are going to be the key people there, because I think the existing investors have had, over a period of time, certainly over the past 5 or 6 years, and not to bore anyone with the compliance and the changes in legislation, but over the 5 or 6 years, things have changed significantly for those investors. And I actually see those investors looking to come out of the market because they've lost their taxable difference on what they received in the rent. The legislational changes have changed quite dramatically. I actually see a new type of investor coming in where they realise that if they've got money spread across different accounts where they're looking to try and invest, and they've got protection in 4 or 5 different accounts up to a certain value, they're getting no more than maybe 0.75% on the return on investment there, at maximum, I think, even if they hold it in a fixed rate, whatever, for a good long period of time. I think anyone looking at when they're capital rich, cash rich at the moment with equity, is looking at buy-to-let as a sensible return on investment. And I think the benefit with that is that you look at some of your flats that are on the market, and you can get returns of investment of gross 5.5%, which is fantastic, really, really good. And even when you start taking out your costs for your ground rent, your service charges, even if you wanted to be as specific to look at taking out your management fees from instructing an Avocado to manage your property, you're still sort of 4.25%, 4.5%. And you're getting massive returns on your investment compared to what you will do with the banks. Plus, you've got the appreciation value of the property over a period of time. And we all know that property will increase in value. I remember looking at houses when I first bought mine and thinking, "Cool, I had £220,000 for that house." I'm going to show my age slightly here, but about 14 years ago. How was that ever now £350,000? And when you looked at it in 220, you're like, "God, that's such a lot of money," you know? And I think investors out there at the moment will look at it in 2 ways. They look at the appreciation model, that over a period of time, if they can hold on to it for long enough, they'll make good money on it. The return on investment solid. They've just got to be really sure that they instruct a decent lettings business that can manage their property for them well enough, but also be aware of the complications with regards to legislation. But I do think there's a new type of breed of landlord coming in. I think the historic landlord probably had enough of it now, but you would find very comfortably that property is now being snapped up by another investment landlord that's new to the market because they want to make better use of their cash.
Yeah, totally. And I was talking to a HMO specialist actually yesterday. We went and had a look at a couple of his properties, and we both worked in agency together back in 2003. And we were in the middle of Bracknell actually, and we were talking about a property around the corner that just sold for 375. That we'd actually had on the market one of its neighbours' properties, and back then it was 155, and that was 2003. Wow. So 19 years later. You're talking about what, 220 grand increase. And what's funny about that is I remember thinking, as a 21-year-old, wow, my parents have just made unbelievable equity in their house. I wish that we were in that generation. And actually now it's happened again, and it will probably happen again. And it won't surprise me in 20 years time if we're talking about that 375 house thinking, can't believe that's gone over 100 grand. Yeah. So yeah, incredible stuff. Talking about seasons and talking about the market and everything going on, Neil, do you think that this year we're going to see a seasonal drop in properties coming to the market? Not that we're a big fan of stats, but actually, if you look at the back end of Rightmove as an estate agent, you can see how estate agents are doing on listings. And we've actually listed the most properties in our patch compared to any other estate agency's office as a group of partners, which shows that we're doing really well on listings, but it also shows there's a lot coming to the market. Do you think that's going to drop off in December this year? Is it going to stay crazy? What's your thoughts?
I'm not sure. If it does, it means we actually get a little bit of a break for a couple of days for sure.
I second that.
But it definitely didn't last year. It was a bit of a weird one last year, wasn't it, with everything going on, and us being fairly new. So we were flat out. But I think there is still a buzz because of the interest rates being so low, and obviously we've said it time in, time out. But with interest rates being low, I don't see this letting off in any way, shape, or form. Yeah. But I think that the difficulty is having sellers that are happy to do something at this time of year, because you do get a lot that go, well, I don't want my Christmas decorations up, or I don't want this. Dan and I have got a short list of people that are ready to sell in January. So we know they'll be coming to the market, but they don't want to do it just before. But I think it's always, what are we now? I never know the dates and times. We're coming to the end of October already. So if people want to get their house on the market and get it sold, now's the time to do it, before that little Christmas break where you can put your feet up, relax, knowing that you've got a buyer. But I say it to everyone, now is a really good time to do it, because you've still got some nice weather like today, although it was a bit weird. It was nice weather today. Photos will look really good. And on average, we're taking 11 days to sell a house. So get it up and running, find a buyer, know that you can sit there and enjoy your Christmas with all your decorations and make loads of mess with the kids running riot with a buyer behind you. And then you can have some confidence come January, when historically other stuff does happen. So,
and you've probably still got enough time, even if you put it on the market at the start of November, you probably still got enough time to get sold, get a survey booked, get a financial commitment from the buyer, potentially find something yourself. Even if you don't find something yourself, I bought my last property or saw my last property go online on Boxing Day and made an offer on the 27th. In fact, I think Boxing Day or the 27th is often seen on Rightmove as the busiest traffic day ever. Sanjay, you've got the data on that, I think, haven't you?
Yeah, it was official. I remember last year when I was doing it, I had like 3 properties to list on Boxing Day. So I kind of woke up a bit staggery after Christmas Day. And I was what that's about. But I actually, it's by stats Rightmove put out, that is their busiest time for traffic is from the 26th of December to the 31st of December.
People want to change. It's mental. I moved into this house. I completed on this house on Christmas Eve, which is mental.
There you go.
That is incredible. Yeah. And we'll be around as well. That's the great thing. Most of us are local. We're around the corner. So if there are completions, or if there is the odd viewing, we're not going to be viewing every day throughout Christmas. But if there's someone that's really keen to see a property and the vendor's happy, we're going to be around. Most agents will be closed. So, we'll still be active. We'll still be.
The good thing about the good thing about that, Ian, just to jump in quickly, is the market where I see that there's a sort of a bit of a lull for new instructions coming on. There's still plenty, but there's not as much as there was before. I actually think now is probably the right time to be looking to try and list over the next couple of months with buyer comments, with buyer confidence, the way it is with regards to looking for that right property. The sellers of those properties need to be thinking their next move. So if they agree a sale and put their house on the market now, agree a sale mid-November, early part of December, most buyers out there are going to be expecting them not to find anything until the new year. The sellers are then going to be in a fantastic position early part of January, end of December, to go, I'm under offer, I'm in a very strong position to be able to get moved. There's more properties on the market for me to choose from. Now I can get going and I can be the one that steps up above the rest. So in truth, anybody that's looking out there, there's a seller now going, I tell you what, I'll leave it. What better way to sell your product, your house, at the best possible price when there isn't as much competition, to put yourself in the strongest position to buy on when more properties will come to the market. So now, in truth, is probably, well, I know it's the right time, totally the right time to be looking to try and kickstart something. And we had the conversation in the office earlier about when the right time to put the Christmas tree up is, and you said it's normally past when your birthday is, and it's a touch too early for me, but it's we can get it all done in November, get a property on the market, get it sold. As Neil said, you've got 11-day turnaround time. Mine's probably very similar. Sanjay's is probably very similar to that. Get it on, get it sold, find yourself the right home when more properties come available in the new year. It's the best way, in my view, to get it done.
Absolutely. I think even if you're not ready to put it fully live, because of the social media traction we've got, we can do some sneak peeks. We can do some stuff on the green screen. So difficult on this because you point one way, it's actually the other one.
There's only two sides, mate. Come on.
It's like my chin. No, that's not right. But yeah, you can do some techniques. And as Sean mentioned on that comment before, it's nice to actually hear the reasons why, because the honest answer is we don't know. But it's nice to hear that estate agents are talking about the reasons why. And the negatives are, if you sell and you can't find, there's less on the market in December. The positives are, you've got a quality buyer locked in, hopefully some financial and legal commitment, and then you're in a real power position going into the new listing market in January. And if you put your property on the market on January and the house of your dreams comes on the next day, and someone comes in that's already sold or ready to go, you could lose it for the sake of a month. And I think it's worthwhile at least engaging in a conversation with us at this stage.
Without question.
I wanted to talk about offers. I know someone on this chat was quite keen to kind of really get stuck into how that actually works. There's a lot of offers flying around now. Give us a thumbs up if this was your bit that you wanted to talk about, gents. But someone wanted to talk about actually submitting offers, information we need from a buyer, and how to do it if you're a buyer and you don't want to miss out on a property. Was that any of you guys, or was that Ellen who's not here? Might have been Ellen.
It wasn't me.
Sanjay, you're Ellen.
I'm Ellen. Sanjay, not Ellen.
You can do this anyway. What advice would you give to someone? They've just seen a property, they love it, they don't want to lose it. They need to submit an offer to the estate agent. How charged and powered up of information should they be coming to that agent with? Go.
They need to be, they need to come ready. First of all, you're not in a market where, I personally don't think you're in a market, and I've seen some buyers lose out where they're divvying around the information they're giving, not telling us all their mortgage details, talking about offering a lower price when they know we've just had 18 viewings and we've got 6 offers on the property. Like, if you want a home, be ready in this market with all the information. Have your solicitors ready, have your mortgage advisor details ready. We have to, myself and Adam financially vet everyone anyway for our brokers. So need to have that ready. If you're in a chain, know your chain details. Give us your estate agent details. We need to be accessible and contacting your estate agent immediately as soon as we get that offer. I think it's so important. And just to show, I always like to find out why they're offering. What did they like about the house? Is there anything you don't like about it? Is there any negatives that might put you off after your offer? Have you really thought this through? Have you spoken to your partner, your kids, whatever you might need to do? Really just get into detail of, what the offer is, because ultimately when we're putting offers forward to our clients, I like to give them the full breakdown and the full story of who that person is, not just their price, their status, like the transactional questions, but who they actually are as people. I think that's so important. And as you know, like we're people, right?
So I think
people. Yeah.
I think the reason why that's important and why you're talking about not negatives, but why you're talking about the securities is because you've got your sellers back. You know, Neil, from your point of view, obviously having that relationship with the client, when a buyer is putting an offer forward to you, you're not just trying to chalk something up on the whiteboard like we used to have to do in agency offices. You're looking to make sure that that buyer is committed all the way through to handing over the keys in reality. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And we love it now, because before, in the way of agency that we used to work in, you'd have someone come and show you a bit of paper that had literally black and white tick boxes on it saying what type of buyer they were. You can't build a relationship or confidently put that forward to the seller knowing that you trust that bit of paper. Do you know what I mean? Whereas like one of the open houses that I had on Saturday, I had circa 20 viewings, had 5 offers on it. And I said to everyone, and then I said to the sellers afterwards, I said, I love what we do now because I get to stand in this lounge, talk to the buyers, get a feel for, like Sanjay said, what they like about the house, what they don't like about the house, and really vet them subconsciously and try and work out if they're serious or not. Let's face it, when they come to us with the offers, that's when they're serious. But at least you've met them. You've spent 20 minutes, 25 minutes walking them around a house and having a chat with them. And yes, people, we like to just chit chat and get a feel for those people. And then when you're sat on the Monday or Sunday, whatever it is, talking to the seller, you can talk to them with confidence that you trust the person that you're sort of suggesting. And the way that offer turned out, or offers turned out, there was multiple offers at the same level, and they couldn't choose. So they went with my recommendation based on the confidence that I had in that buyer. And that buyer, I think, to be fair, we always talk about it, and it might well have been me that dropped something to Callie in terms of talking about this, but about being prepared for how crazy the market is. And like Sanjay said, if you've got all of that information to hand, us as an estate agent, let's face it, that's our job. We need to vet you to a certain extent. But if you know what you're talking about and you say it with confidence, we know you've done your research. We've then therefore done our due diligence. We can put your offer forward in confidence. Easy as that. And as I said, there's most of the houses that we're dealing with at the moment will have multiple offers on. So before you go out and you view houses, know your script, know what you're talking about, know who your mortgage provider is, know your chain situation if you're in a chain, and know the solicitors that you're using, because then that way, if you make an offer, you can go bang, 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 right, that's it. And you're the first to the line with all the information. We don't have to chase you up on anything, and you're more likely to have an offer accepted quicker.
Yeah, it's all about getting to the end result, and the end result for our sellers are to help them find the house or the property that they want to move to. You know, we're helping with the step prior, aren't we? We're helping them potentially just achieve a sale on there so they can buy the house, which is why they want to move. No one's really just selling because they want to be homeless next week and have loads of money in the bank. They're selling because they want to find a new home. So you've inspired me here to drop a little bomb behind the scenes of what goes on in agency. So for everyone watching, this might be a bit of a shocker, but this is what happens in the background. So a valuer comes out and sees you. They value the property. You build a connection with the valuer, and the valuer builds a connection with you. They're working on your behalf. They come back to the office. Negotiators then take over. They've got a connection with their buyers. So when you go to the property, the negotiators showing the buyer around, they meet them face to face, not you, because you have to leave the property. They built a relationship with the buyer. When it comes to them then offering to that negotiator, their instant connection and wanting to help is with the buyer, which is an instant conflict of interest, because you are the seller who's paying them a fee, but you don't have the relationship with the negotiator. You have it with the valuer who's out valuing, and you're not on the phone to them. You're on the phone to the negotiators, actually, without meaning to, subconsciously fighting the corner of the buyer. And I've been the negotiator, and that's exactly what happens, because exactly how I felt, because I was committed to the person I could visualize, which was the buyer, not the vendor who I hadn't met. That's one of the things that does sometimes happen. What we're talking about here is we're dealing with both. There is no conflict of interest. We understand we're working on behalf of the seller. We want to do right by the buyer, but we don't want to trick them or lead them down a garden path. So honesty happens in every step of the way. And I mentioned about talking about the model, because I don't think everyone always understands the model of how we operate, but everyone's a limited business holder here. And what we're talking about is how we can do right by all the parties out there to make it a more enjoyable industry for the buyers and the sellers, landlords and tenants. That's why we're doing what we're doing differently. And that's kind of the conveyor belt. It's the same person. You know, Matt, you were talking just a minute ago about properties you'd sold. You met with the vendor, you met with the buyers, you negotiated the offer on both behalf. They've only ever spoke to you. They haven't spoke to a single other person in the whole transaction. So there is no conflict of interest. You're just in that position where you are working for all parties, trying to make the right thing happen.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So it's really powerful. I think it's a good topic of conversation that we've gone on to there, because I think it's important to highlight. Changing direction slightly, Neil, you were not here when we were talking about a pumpkin competition.
Oh, I missed out.
Yeah, we think we should do a pumpkin competition.
My seller did give me chocolates, though. Oh, yes, good choice.
I knew you were going to get excited about that.
Get it open.
Yeah, it is sealed. Look, I'm not. I am just like this all the time. I'm not drunk. So we're thinking pumpkin competition next week. Internal and external, avocado versus Facebook and Instagram. Let's see whether we can make better pumpkins than the best that there is on Instagram and on Facebook. Yeah.
When do you have to have it in by?
I think we've got to let's look at dates here. I think it's got to be something like next Friday, surely. 29th, I reckon. Next Friday. Last day of half term. Kids are in the way. Let's see what we can make. I'm thinking my pumpkin might be chewing on an avocado, like that, something like that.
I've made one where it was a drunk avocado and he'd thrown up everywhere with the insides. That was quite funny.
A drunk avocado or pumpkin?
If I made a drunk avocado, I'm the drunk avocado.
Love that. Quick question for all three of you. Georgina's asked, have you had any down valuations recently? This is a hard market for a surveyor because prices are doing this. So any down valuations, gents, recently?
I had one probably 4 months ago, which is the first one I've had in 2 years, probably longer. And to be fair, the buyer, credit to him, and this was just because of the other estate agent messing up and messing around with the price, and we came in to save the day. But basically the buyer just changed lender, went with someone else, and it came in fine. We've now got a neighbouring property on, which has gone crazy. So it shows the price was right. But yeah, one in the last 2 years, 2.5 years.
Yeah, I haven't had it at all.
You've had one, Matt?
No, I haven't. No, not at all. No.
Sanjay?
I had one 2 months ago, and that was the first time again in 2 years. It was a flat as well, so slightly different market. But yeah, buyers, they're still buying it, and it's managed to all go through. We managed to agree a price. So yeah, all good.
I've had one. This is a cracker. About 5 months ago, surveyor went out. There's a garage in a block, which is a little bit further down, and in front of the garage is parking for 2 cars. Surveyor downvalued it fairly significantly by 30 grand. And I looked at the surveyor report, spoke to the broker, and noticed that they'd put no parking down. And I said, well, there is parking. There's parking, private parking for 2 cars. And the surveyor had missed the garage, even though it was, if you watch our video on the website, I was standing in front of the garage, in front of the parking. And it's obviously on the details, which they didn't check. But the surveyor then refused to go back and review the property because of COVID. So it stayed downvalued, and the buyer found the extra money and bought it anyway because they knew it was a nonsense valuation. But yeah, that.
Do you know what the difference with that comes in is that I think whenever I've met with a surveyor recently to do a mortgage survey, I've always met them personally and then talked them through the situation. So almost done a little bit of like a guided tour, so they don't get the opportunity to miss anything like that. And we talk about offers when you used to work in agency, tick boxes, and so we spoke about completion days before and previously when they literally just go and sort of drop off or collect a key in the office. that's all the surveyor does normally in an estate agency model. They'll go and pick up the key. They'll get given a set of particulars. If they're lucky enough to get given a set of particulars, they'll walk away with the key and have to assume what they need to assume thereafter. Whereas when we do it, I know I do. I wander down, go and meet the surveyor, deliberately try and have a chat with them about the position, the properties that have sold locally, and give them as much information as possible to make them as well educated, even more so, to make sure that they give the right advice.
Yeah, love that. It's a great point, Matt. Absolutely love that. We're 5 minutes over the norm, but we've had a great conversation. People have been watching all the way through. So I thought I'd just end this chat with something that, a bit of a poll. If you're watching and you want to engage in this, I'd love to know your answer. Who do we think will win the league first, Manchester United or Newcastle United?
I knew he was going to ask something like that.
Is it past the watershed yet? Am I allowed to swear yet?
No, not yet. But serious question.
I'm not answering it then.
Neil, I'm guessing here you might be a Manchester United fan.
Yes, for my sins. Although we brought it back last night. I turned it off last night after about 15 minutes. I was like, I'm not watching this rubbish team anymore. And then, put something else on. And, credit to them. They brought it back.
Yeah, Joanna's saying she's got no idea on the football shizzle. Just say Manchester United or Newcastle, Joe. That's all we're looking for. Let us know.
Joe, Manchester United all day long. So
it's the fact that they've probably both got even amounts of money now.
I think Newcastle got the whole of Abu Dhabi behind them. So I mean, my money's on Newcastle at this rate, unless Ollie goes. But Sanjay, you're not a big football fan, but do you have an opinion?
I do have an opinion. Newcastle.
Look,
Joanna knows.
No.
Newcastle all the way.
Right, changing subject. I was running late because I was at viewings in a house, and my sellers left me chocolates out. How nice is that?
Love that.
Very nice.
How often do you get that?
Love that. Neil, next time you're in HQ, we'll have a tipple.
I'll just make sure it tastes all right.
So next Thursday will be the first day before the pumpkin competition. Maybe there'll be some teasers next Thursday on the partner chat. Like we say, market's going crazy. We would love to talk to people. If you're thinking of moving, you can't find something, we've got some tricks that we can work to find out how much people are going to pay for your home without even taking a photo or mentioning the street. We've got some tricks. It works. Me and Sanjay tested it the other day. We had 2 people interested and it really, really helped. So give us a shout on that. Sorry?
I thought you were going to do a trick or treat pun then or something. You led on with we've got some tricks and now you need a treat.
My gym inspired me this morning, actually.
Can we put our old Halloween video out as a treat?
I mean, we did nearly get banned from Rightmove for that video.
Let's not go there.
All the new followers deserve it.
So you can find it on YouTube if you want to see it and you're interested. October last year on YouTube, you'll see it on there. But yeah, it nearly got us banned from Rightmove, and we did have death threats from a few rival estate agents.
Check it out, it's great.
What are you going to do? You know, what are you going to do? We've got we got smoke cameras and smoke machines and cameras. We're always going to have fun. But no, pumpkin competition next week. Looking forward to that. Very excited to see what everyone comes up with. As they say, don't drink and carve pumpkins. It's dangerous. And we'll see you all next Thursday.
Sounds good. Cheers, gents.
See you later on.